Hey guys, welcome back to the poker vlog, episode 3. We're playing at Chasers today, a mix of 1-2 and 1-3. Play at 2 tables tonight. It's definitely a fun session, roller coaster up and down. A lot of nice guys we played with. Shout out to Joel and David for this session. Ed as well. Ed was on my right at the end there. We had some good laughs. Definitely up and down. Like I said, you definitely want to keep tuned. So appreciate your support. Thank you guys for watching.
All right, just got the Chasers. Gonna buy in for either the 1-2 or 1-3. I'm on both lists. List was long for 1-2, so might play 1-3 tonight. Yeah, let you know how it goes. Excited? Let's go. It's about 8 p.m., so get into it. We sit down right away at the 1-2 table, where we pick up Ace-10 offsuit in middle position. It folds to us. We go ahead and raise to 10, our standard size. And when it folds around to the small blind, he's gonna make it $40. It's a standard spot for a small blind 3-bet or fold, so not out of the ordinary, but don't think Ace-10 is good enough. We fold. It's going to be that kind of session. We pick this hand up in progress. I'm in the big blind. There's a hijack open at 10. The button calls. We peel. Ace-Queen offsuit. I think this is a pretty easy layup 3-bet spot. We're going to raise it up to $40. You can see here towards the top of your screen, the hijack opener is stacking up some more chips. He's going to put in the 4-bet up to $160. Button gets out of the way, and it looks like it's going to be one of these sessions. On our first 2 hands, we get 3-bet and 4-bet. I just don't think that anyone's 4-bet range is light enough to justify a call or 5-bet with Ace-Queen offsuit at these stakes, so we go ahead and reluctantly let it go. A little frustrating way to start the session, but at least we know that there will be some action at the table. With a table that's quick to 3 and 4-bet, we're looking to just stay patient this session and get our money in with some premium hands. And that is exactly what we're going to get the chance to do in this one, where we pick up Ace-King of diamonds under the gun. We go ahead and raise it up to $10, hoping, praying that somebody is going to 3-bet us. It folds around, though, to the button. It sticks in the call. We're going to go heads up to a flop. Flop comes out 9 high. I decide to c-bet for half pot. I go for 10 into 20. He makes the fold. Nice to win a small one, pick up our first pot of the night. For this next hand, there's a $5 straddle on. There's 3 callers of the straddle, and when it gets to me in the small blind, I look down at Queen-8 of diamonds. I decide that I'm going to squeeze it up here. Don't want to go a million ways to a flop. I raise to 20. I didn't want to just call, have the straddler squeeze, and have to fold out the suited semi-connector here, so decide to raise. We get a couple of the limpers out. Only 2 of them call. We go 3 ways to a flop with 70 in the middle. The flop comes pretty favorable for our hand. It comes King of diamonds, 8 of spades, 2 of diamonds. We have a pair and a flush draw. We go ahead and c-bet for $30, and we're going to take this one down. Nice to gain a little bit of momentum after getting bullied in the first couple hands. Feeling good, scooping the last few pots. We're looking to keep that momentum rolling when we look down under the gun at King-Jack offsuit. Pretty standard open for me personally, 8-handed. I make it 10. And all that good feeling that we had is gonna go away. Right away, we get through only 1 player before we quickly get 3-bet up to $30. You can see him at the top of our screen. King-Jack is not a hand I'm going to defend a 3-bet with, but I'm clearly annoyed.
Wow. I keep getting 3-bet and 4-bet, huh?
That's bad luck.
It's not good.
He showed aces.
He did show the aces? I fucking knew it. Let's go.
Even though I'm getting bullied a bit, it's still a very fun table. There's a guy named David in the 4 seat. Very nice guy, good player. We've been talking some strategy. But he does something here that I don't recommend. He opened limps. There's another limper behind him. And when we look down at ace queen suited in the low jack, we're going to be raising it up. We make it 15, and I'll roll the tape to show you how fun this table is.
Is the camera rolling?
The camera's rolling. You going all in?
I'm on.
How much is it?
I have no idea.
I'm calling.
48.
48?
Yeah.
Alright, here we go.
You got ace
I'm rolling. I do have ace queen.
queen? Ace queen?
Yeah.
You need an ace.
You need an ace?
You need an ace, huh?
Wow, just queens, huh?
I just folded those.
Wow, that's awesome.
48.
Alright, can I get 2 back?
No.
I
No.
have 2 3 that hand.
Wow, nice answer.
I think that.
Our very next shuffle, we peel ace of hearts, king of diamonds, in middle position and raise it over to 10 over 1 limper. It's nice to get a hand right after losing that flip, so we can get right back on the wagon and get after it. We're going to go 4 ways to a flop, as the button, small blind, and big blind all call. There's $40 in the middle. Look to see an ace or a king on the flop. The dealer puts out 9 of clubs, 6 of spades, 2 of hearts. So we miss. I check, feel there's no need to bluff into 4 players, and we get to see a free turn. Turns the 4 of hearts, we check again, button bets out for 20. And I decide here that I could go ahead and float. Ace high could be good some of the times, and I think my card is still alive. I put in the call, $80 in the middle, off to a river, which is a 3 of spades. I check once again, and he bets 35. And I'm just not in the mood to bluff catch. I fold. I think I could be good there some of the time. Actually, David in the 4 seat was nice enough to tell me after the session that he had ace 10. So we were good, but that's a tough call to make. It's been a frustrating session so far. We're stuck almost $200. We've been getting some pretty good starting hands, but haven't been able to make hands post-flop. We've been getting pushed around a little bit. The action at this table is starting to die down, so I've put my name on the list for 1-3, looking to move to a new table that maybe I'll have some more success at. But there's no time like the present to start trying to get unstuck. We're in the straddle for $5, where we peel Jack 10 offsuit. A couple limps, we decide to check it, and we go 4 ways to a flop. The flop comes out gin for us. It's queen 9 8 with 2 hearts. We flop the nuts, and we take the betting lead for $10. The player from the last hand with ace queen suited raises us up to 25. It's a great feeling. It folds back around to me. It doesn't have a lot left, so we go ahead and stick it in.
All in?
All in.
I got a gut shot, man.
I have the nuts.
You got a gut. Already there?
Yeah.
Full house. Run around a full house.
Well, you gotta. Oh, you have a heart. You're probably good, no?
By some
No.
miracle,
You're good.
it doesn't have a heart. The run out is clean. We keep the nuts. It's definitely a great spot to be in. We're sad to stack that guy, as it seems like that's his last hand of the night. With him leaving, a couple other players are starting to rack up, so the action's dying down. So only have a couple more orbits at this table.
Like I mentioned, this is our last orbit at the 1-2 table, as we're just getting called for 1-3. It's a nice time to try and get unstuck. There's a couple limps and an open to 12. We're in the hijack, and we're going to look down here at the ace of clubs and the king of hearts. It's a nice send-off for us. We, of course, are going to put in the 3-bet. I think in position here, we don't have to go too big. We make it 35. It's going to fold around, and the initial raiser is going to stick in the call. Going heads up to a flop. Dealer puts out king 10-9 rainbow, and now the low jack is going to do something a little bit weird. He donks out for 70, out pot. We look back down at our cards. I think there is some merit in jamming. Obviously, we have sets of kings and tens here, but he will have sets of nines, sets of tens, and hands like Jack Queen that we just don't have in our 3-bet range that often. So with that in mind, we don't have the nut advantage, so we're going to play it conservative, and we just put in the call here. I think there is merit to maybe jamming and getting him off a hand like Ace King that we're chopping with, but not sure much worse can call. Turn comes the 8 of clubs. It's a relative brick, and he very quickly bets out for 100. We only have about 220 behind. It's a pretty easy decision. We put it in, and he goes into the tank. It's not that big of a raise. He has good pot odds, so after a short time, he makes the call. We ask if we want to turn it over. Say we have Ace King. He has the same hand, so we're going to chop this one up. Not sure what's happening with my camera here, but maybe we can jam the flop and get him off this chop. Not sure. This next hand, we peeled Jack Queen of Diamonds. It's our first hand at 1-3. Unfortunately, a gentleman has requested that I don't film at this table because he's there. He feels uncomfortable with it. Of course, I'm always going to oblige when someone makes a request like that, but it is still a little bit annoying not to be able to give you guys some content, so I'll still go over the hand, but with this kind of still picture format. We have our favorite hand, same suit and all. We go ahead and make it 10 from middle position. This is way too small. Coming from 1-2 to 1-3, the game plays much bigger at 1-3. It's typically played 1-3 with a $6 under the gun straddle, so it plays more like 3-6. A lot bigger, even though you're only changing $1 in the blinds. They also do a lot of $15 double board bomb pots on every dealer change, and every time the winner of the bomb pot will get the button after, so it does play much bigger. With that in mind, this is too small of an open. We get a couple callers. We're gonna go about 4 ways to a flop. Not feeling too great about our hand until the flop comes out. Jack, 10, Jack. We flop trips in our first hand at the 1-3 table. Feels nice to settle in. We go ahead and make the C bet that you see on your screen for $25. Again, might be a little too small into 40, but we have a pretty good hand here. We do get one caller, so we go heads up to a turn with 90 in the middle. Turn comes a brick, deuce of clubs. We're not done putting money in the pot here. We size up to 65 and get a quick fold. It's not the biggest of pots, but it definitely is a huge confidence booster to win my first pot at the new table, especially because there are some pretty big stacks here. Largest I've definitely ever played with. There's one guy who has about 3K in his stack. The guy next to him has about 2,500, so they're both to my right, thankfully, but definitely going to be going to battle with them a little bit later in this session. As a quick note, these dead shots of the table are obviously from the 1-2 game, so you'll see some familiar opponents. These players aren't at my 1-3 table. I'm playing with completely new guys. I'm in the $6 under the gun straddle. I know straddling is negative EV long term, but everyone's doing it here. I don't want to seem like a total nitball just coming. These guys have been playing together for a couple hours, so I come in to splash around a little bit. You know, you got to give action to get some action. We have King of Clubs, 6 of Spades. Not a very great hand, but when there's just one raise up to 15, that's a standard open. A little bit small, actually, for a straddle pot. There's one caller. I decide to complete. We go 3 ways to a flop with 45 in the middle. Flop comes out and misses us completely. It's Ace, Jack, 7 with 2 clubs. Big blind checks. I check. The initial raiser continues on the smaller side for 15 again. The big blind calls, and now it's back on me. I think I normally can just check fold this, but I'm feeling good after the Jack Queen hand, and I'm trying to think of ways to win this pot. I have the king of clubs, which is the nut draw blocker. I can represent some combo draws like king queen of clubs, king 10 of clubs, and I thought about it for a while and I decided if I just flat here and then go to raise a club on the river, it might look a little bit weird. So I decided to make a move now. I check raise up to 40. I don't go too big. I think the message would get across. The initial raiser calls, big blind gets out of the way. Turn comes, a great card for us is the 4 of clubs. It's great for us to continue barreling. I bet out now for 85. He folds, and we take down a pot with king high. Always feels good to win a pot without making a pair. So we're feeling pretty confident at our new table. I say I'm feeling confident, but I am still stuck probably around $25 to $50 at this point. Nothing too bad, still manageable, still fighting, trying to take down pots. But this game is still playing, probably the biggest I've ever played. I've only played 2-5 one time, and that was just for a couple of hours, and even that game played a little bit smaller, I think, than this one at times. It's very splashy. I mentioned there's a lot of big stacks, and one of the big stacks to my right just took down a huge all-in pot. So his stack is probably up to around 3K right now. I should mention this 1-3 game is capped at a $500 buy-in, so there are some players who've been here for a few hours. We're very deep. We're all drinking and having a good time, but definitely, even though we've won a couple pots coming in, still would be nice to drag a couple more to keep our confidence up. Nothing is quite as good for the confidence though as peeling pocket aces under the gun. There's a straddle on. I go ahead and make it 15. Again, I think this is a little bit small. I think 1-3 games here, typically the opening size is 15, so should probably go up to 20 over a straddle, but it doesn't really matter because of one seat. Pretty much right away, 3 bets me up to 45. I'm loving the spot. And it gets even better when the big stack who just won that big pot decides to cold call the 3-bet. It's back on me. I'm not in the mood to go 3 ways to a flop with aces. I'm gonna put in the 4-bet. I make it on the smaller side. I 4-bet to 150. I think 4 bets of any size get the point across, but with this smaller size, if the one seat has a hand like kings or queens, which I'm hoping for, maybe he can be enticed to go over the top. Even if he folds, the cold caller, who I assume will have a hand like 9s, 10s, jacks, maybe ace queen suited, might entice him to stay in when he's in some bad shape. It's very apparent early on though, the one seat was not 3-betting us light. He's thinking, looking down at his stack, counting it out. He decides to put in the 5-bet jam for 315 more. I'm excited. I can't wait to snap call him, but it's not my turn yet. The cold caller looks like he has a decision. He's tanking, and he actually decides to call the 5-bet jam. I have no idea what to do. At this point, I just know I need to put as much money in now. I 6-bet rip it for 497 total. Big stack calls, and we're going 3 ways to the biggest pot, biggest flip of my life that I've played, and I'm not even quite sure what we have to dodge. I flip over my aces right away, half excited, half hoping that someone will show me what I have to dodge. The one seat is annoyed, he rolls his eyes and shows kings, so we're in good shape there, but the big stack hasn't turned over his cards yet. The flop comes out 5-7-3 rainbow. The turn is a 5. Seems pretty safe. The river's a 9. I'm a little bit nervous. The big stack might have 9s. He's looking at his cards and looking at the board for what feels like an eternity, but finally he mucks. We take down the biggest pot of my life. We drag the pot. This is what our stack looks like right after. You can see we have a black 100 plaque, which never had before. Don't feel too comfortable with it, but you can see we have 800 there, a little bit more in red. We have a 500 stack of green, and it's just the biggest stack we've ever had by far. A little bit later, we changed out the black chip to somebody who wanted it across the table. We played for a little while longer, stayed out of hands, mostly chipped down a little bit through the blinds and repaying the bomb pots. We don't want to hit and run, so we do get involved in some smaller pots, but mostly just trying to stay out of danger. The guys don't seem to care that they just lost a huge pot. They're laughing. They're trying to buy shots for the table and drinks for everybody. It's a good night. We're having fun. But we decide around 12:30 that we got to get out of there and lock up our profit.
All right, I'm getting rained on. It's about 12:30. Played for 4.5 hours. In for 6, out for 1,300. Very nice session. Very crazy at the end. Got a little loose, especially when my friend in the 3 seat started buying shots for the table. So that was a little bit of a fun time. Just kind of knitted up after winning that big one. Kind of unfortunate we couldn't get it on the vlog. But obviously going to respect people's wishes not to record them. So overall, great session. Good way to spend an off day on a Sunday night, right? All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.